The rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of our penthouse like fists pounding on a coffin lid, each drop an accusation I couldn't drown out. I stood there in the dim glow of the city lights filtering through the storm, my silk robe clinging to my skin like a second layer of regret, as I watched Alex, my husband of 2 years, thrusting into her on our marital bed. The sheets I'd chosen for their Egyptian cotton luxury twisted around their bodies, her moans cutting through the thunder like knives. My hand gripped the doorframe, nails digging into the wood until splinters bit back, but I didn't move. Shock rooted me, a visceral punch to the gut that left me breathless, furious, humiliated. How dare he? In our home, with the woman I'd called my best friend. The betrayal wasn't just the act. It was the laughter that followed, low and intimate, as if I were already a ghost. I backed away silently, my bare feet silent on the cold marble floor, heart slamming against my ribs like it wanted out. Denial hit first, a whisper in my mind. This isn't real. You're imagining it. But the scent of her perfume, jasmine and deceit, lingered in the hallway, mixing with a metallic tang of rain on the balcony railing where I'd fled. I slid down against the wall, knees to my chest, the storm mirroring the chaos inside me. Anger bubbled up next, hot and acrid, burning away the numbness. Alex had promised forever under that oak tree at our wedding. His eyes so sincere I'd believed him. But I'd kept one secret. The 3 luxury homes my grandmother had left me in her will, tucked away in the Hamptons, Aspen and Malibu. Properties worth millions. Hidden in a trust under a maiden name he'd never bothered to ask about. I'd told myself it was a test, of his love, of our equality. Now it felt like ammunition. By morning, the storm had cleared, leaving a crisp autumn air that did nothing to cool the resentment festering in my chest. I slipped back into the bedroom before they woke, pretending to have been out all night at a work emergency. Alex stirred, his arm draped possessively over Sarah. My Sarah, the one who'd stood beside me at the altar, toasting to our happiness. Her blonde hair splayed across my pillow like a taunt. I forced a smile, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. "Morning, love. Who's this?" Alex bolted upright, sheets pooling around his waist. His face a mask of feigned surprise that cracked into panic. "Emily. It's not what it looks like." Sarah scrambled for her clothes, avoiding my eyes, mumbling apologies that sounded rehearsed. I swear it just happened. We were drunk." I laughed, a brittle sound that echoed off the high ceilings, masking the heartbreak clawing at my throat. "Drunk. In our bed. How original." Inside, obsession took root, replaying every glance between them, every late night he'd claimed as business. Had it started at our engagement party? Or earlier, when I'd introduced them? Guilt flickered too. Maybe if I'd been more open about the inheritance, shown him I wasn't the struggling artist he thought, things would have been different. But no, that was denial talking. This was betrayal, pure and calculated. Over breakfast, black coffee for me, silence for them, Alex tried to spin it. "Baby, it was a mistake. Sarah means nothing. We've built something real here." His hand reached for mine across the granite island, but I pulled away, the cool stone grounding me. Sarah hovered by the door, her coat half on, eyes darting like a trapped animal. "Emily, please. Forgive me. I never meant to hurt you." Her words ignited the fury again. "Hurt me? You two have been laughing behind my back for months, haven't you?" I said it calmly, but my mind raced with fantasies. Smashing the coffee pot over his head, watching the shards glitter like broken promises. Instead, I sipped my drink, letting the bitterness match my resolve. They denied it, of course, stammered excuses about one time, stress from work. But I saw the truth in their averted gazes, the way his fingers twitched toward her. After they left, Sarah fleeing like a thief, Alex promising to make it right, I paced the empty apartment, the city skyline mocking me with its indifferent sprawl. Heartbreak morphed into resentment, a slow poison seeping into every memory. Our first date at that cozy Italian place, where he'd charmed me with stories of his humble beginnings. Was it all a lie? I'd supported him through his startup failures, using my savings to float us, never mentioning the homes that could have changed everything. Now doubt crept in. Had he married me for stability, only to seek excitement elsewhere? That night, alone in the guest room, I pulled out the hidden file from under the floorboard, a leather-bound portfolio with deeds to the properties. The Hamptons estate with its ocean views, the Aspen chalet buried in snow-kissed pines, the Malibu villa overlooking crashing waves. Grandmother had willed them to me with a note. For your security, darling. Trust no one completely. How prophetic. Obsession gripped me. I imagined using them as bait, luring Alex into a trap. But fear held me back. What if revenge made me the monster? Moral conflict twisted my gut. Was I justified or just bitter? Days blurred into a haze of feigned normalcy. Alex showered me with apologies. Flowers wilting on the counter. Dinners where his eyes pleaded for forgiveness. I love you, Em. Let's start over. His voice was smooth, but I heard the undercurrent of manipulation, the way he glanced at my phone as if checking for evidence. Sarah called once, sobbing. Please don't tell anyone. It would ruin me. I hung up, cold resolve hardening. In the mirror, my reflection looked haunted, dark circles under eyes that burned with unspoken rage. Subtle hints of my plan emerged in quiet moments. I started researching divorce lawyers online, leaving tabs open for Alex to find. His reaction. Panic disguised as concern. We don't need that, babe. Therapy, maybe. But I saw the calculation in his eyes. Worried about alimony, perhaps. Little did he know about the assets I'd shielded. One evening, over wine on the balcony, the city lights twinkling like distant fires, I tested him. What if I had more than you think? Secrets of my own. He chuckled, dismissing it. Like what? Hidden talents. The condescension stung, fueling my resentment. Inside I plotted. Transfer the properties into a shell company, invite them to one for a reconciliation weekend, then expose everything. But guilt nagged. Sarah had her own demons, an abusive ex she'd confided in me about. Was she manipulated too? And Alex, layered as he was, with a childhood of poverty that made him crave security. Did that excuse him? Tension built slowly, like a storm gathering offshore. I hired a private investigator discreetly, using cash from a hidden account. The reports came in envelopes slipped under the door. Photos of them meeting at cafes, texts extracted from his phone. Can't wait to leave her, one read. Heartbreak surged anew, mixed with cold fury. In bed, I lay awake beside him. His snores a rhythmic betrayal, my mind weaving scenarios of justice. Poison. Too messy. Public humiliation. Tempting. But I wanted something poetic, tying back to the homes he'd never know about, until it was too late. One afternoon in the Aspen chalet's memory, though I'd never taken him there, I called my lawyer. Set up the transfers. Make it ironclad. Her voice was crisp. You sure? This could get ugly. Doubt flickered, but resolve won. Yes, it's time. As part one drew to its midpoint, the suspense simmered. Alex suggested a getaway. To rebuild trust. I smiled inwardly, seeing the opening. Sure. I know just the place. The Hamptons house, with its sprawling grounds and hidden cameras I'd install. Revenge wasn't just coming. It was whispering in the wind, building to a crescendo. The inner conflict raged. Part of me yearned for reconciliation, a fantasy where he begged forgiveness and meant it. But the humiliation replayed, their bodies entwined, her laughter echoing. Whoa. This betrayal demanded retribution. I packed a bag, heart pounding with anticipation and fear. What if it backfired? Moral grayness loomed. Revenge might heal or destroy me. But as I stared at the city from our window, the lights blurring through unshed tears, I knew. The pursuit had begun. The Hamptons house loomed like a sentinel against the crashing Atlantic, its white clapboard facade glowing under the harvest moon, hiding the storm brewing within. I'd arrived early, ostensibly to prepare for our reconciliation weekend, but really to set the stage. Hidden cameras nestled in the crown molding of the master suite, microphones tucked behind antique vases, courtesy of the PI who'd become my reluctant ally. The air smelled of salt and pine, a deceptive calm that masked my churning emotions. Obsession had evolved into cold resolve, but guilt shadowed every step. Was I crossing into villainy? Alex and Sarah arrived together, their SUV crunching gravel in the driveway like bones underfoot. I greeted them at the door, wine glass in hand, my smile a fragile mask. "Welcome to my little secret," I said, gesturing to the opulent foyer with its crystal chandelier casting fractured light. Alex's eyes widened, confusion flickering. "You're what? I thought we were renting this." Sarah hung back, her designer bag clutched like a shield, makeup flawless but eyes red-rimmed. This place is stunning." "How?" I led them inside, the wooden floors creaking under our weight, each step heightening the tension. "Inherited from grandmother. One of 3 actually. Hamptons, Aspen, Malibu. Worth a fortune." The words dropped like stones into still water, ripples of shock spreading across their faces. Alex recovered first, forcing a grin. "Why didn't you tell me? We could've used them. Sold them." I interrupted, voice laced with suppressed rage. We settled in the living room, flames crackling in the stone fireplace, casting dancing shadows that mirrored my inner turmoil. Doubt nod. Maybe confess now, end this charade. But resentment surged as I recalled the betrayal, fueling me. Over dinner, lobster I'd prepared with hands that trembled, dialogue danced on a knife's edge. Alex poured wine, his touch lingering on my hand. "This changes everything, Em. We can start fresh. No more secrets." His eyes gleamed with greed, not love, confirming my suspicions. Sarah fidgeted, picking at her food. "I'm so sorry, Emily. It was a mistake. Alex pursued me, but I should have said no." He shot her a glare, tension crackling like the fire. "Don't throw me under the bus, Sarah. You wanted it too." Their bickering revealed cracks. His manipulation, her vulnerability. Layered motivations emerged. Alex, driven by ambition, saw me as a stepping stone. Sarah, seeking validation after her ex, fell into his web. But betrayal bonded them against me now. That night, as waves thundered outside, I feigned sleep in the guest room, listening via the app on my phone. In the master suite, their whispers turned heated. "She has millions," Alex hissed. "If we play this right, we can get half in the divorce." Sarah's voice wavered. "But I feel guilty. She's my friend." His laugh was cold. "Friend? She's a fool. We deserve this." Heartbreak twisted anew, but it sharpened my resolve. Morning brought feigned harmony. Beach walks where sand gritted between my toes. The oceans roared drowning unspoken accusations. I dropped hints. Grandmother's will has clauses. Infidelity voids claims. Alex paled, but recovered with charm. "No one's talking divorce, babe." Suspense built in quiet calculations. I accidentally left the portfolio out. Deeds visible. Alex pored over it when he thought I wasn't watching. His fingers tracing the values like a lover's caress. Fear mixed with my anger. What if he turned violent? Moral conflict peaked. Revenge felt justified, but at what cost to my soul? The climax ignited that evening, a dinner party I'd orchestrated with friends, actually actors hired to witness. As champagne flowed, I confronted them. "I know everything. The affair, the plans to fleece me." Alex blustered. "What? No." But I played the recordings. Moans from our bed, whispers of greed. The room fell silent, the actors gasping in scripted horror. Sarah broke first, tears streaming. "I'm sorry. He said you were separating anyway." Alex lunged for my phone, but I stepped back, the fireplace poker in hand. A subtle threat. "Touch me and it's assault. With witnesses." His face contorted in rage, then defeat. "You set us up. You bitch." The twist came swift. My lawyer arrived, papers in hand. The properties are in a trust. Prenup voids your claims due to infidelity. Proven here. But the real poetic justice. I donated the homes anonymously. To a women's shelter for betrayal survivors, Sarah's abusive ex's victims included. They're gone, I said, voice steady despite the inner storm. Sold last week, proceeds locked away. Alex's roar echoed through the house, but security, hired discreetly, escorted them out. Sarah whispered, "Why?" as she passed. "Because betrayal deserves consequences. But maybe this saves you too." Alone, waves crashing like applause, I felt the payoff. Not joy but release. Heartbreak lingered, mixed with guilt over the deception. Had I become what I hated? The twist's impact hit. Unexpected freedom, but at the price of trust forever shattered. Revenge's cold resolve thawed into quiet reflection. The house's legacy not wealth, but justice. Yet, in the shadows, a final whisper. Alex's parting glare promised retaliation. Was this end or beginning? Suspense lingered, a slow burn unresolved.